What's up, everyone? We are starting again. This is guys. Welcome to Gare Science's podcast. We had some challenges, so everything is fixed. Okay. So right now we have podcast quotes. Okay. We have a guest there, Mr. Christain. Chidozie Okoro is here to talk to us about relationship guide slash success rules for youths. Okay, there are rules. Okay, the teenagers, you should understand this, that there are rules for success. The more you understand about the more you understand success, the better you live your life. Okay, so we have podcast quotes. We have 10 of them always. The first we have is learn to make things colorful for yourself. Number two, grow wherever you are planted. Number three, many times the impossible is simply the untried. Four, what really matters is what happens in us and not to us. Five, build bridges, don't burn them. People who burn bridges end up isolated, alone, and end up only dealing with neutrals and enemies the rest of their lives. Six, vengeance is a poor traveling companion. Seven, never underestimate the power of forgiveness to free you to fulfill your calling. Number eight, pay no attention to negative criticism. Number nine, no obstacle will ever leave you the way it found you. Number 10, obstacles are what we see when we take our eyes off the goal. So right now we are starting the show. We're starting off. We always start off with this podcast quotes. So if you are new here, make sure you subscribe. There are other podcast show on our videos on our channel. So make sure you just check them and access the ones you can access. Learn as much as you can from them. So this is a norm, something we do always in the culture of the business. So make sure you subscribe to this video. If you are a customer of Gare Science slash Big Choice, then kudos to you. This podcast, this show event is for you. So make sure you watch as much as you can and ask your questions in the comment section. This is what we have right now. So we're going about to the issue relationship guide. There are a lot of people who are confused about relationship. Like, what is relationship? Because if you don't understand what relationship is and you are just always ranting relationship, you are lost already. Okay, so every individual, whether a youth or a teenager, you have to understand this. You need to understand what relationships are, okay, before you get into them. This will really help you achieve anything you really want, because in life we must relate to people and everything. So let's understand what relationship is. Our guest here, Mr. Christain Chizopac, Chidozie Okoro, is going to teach us about that. So right now, Mr. Christain, can you tell us what is relationship?
Okay, thank you. For me, I think relationship simply means a deal between two people who are involved, who have agreed to care for each other, in several aspects, financially, physically, morally, and spiritually. It's a deal between two persons who have agreed for each other. That's what I think it is.
Okay, you said it's a deal between two persons who have agreed to probably care for each other and do stuff. So it's kind of a deal, it's an agreement between two individuals. So now, from what you said right now, can we get into a relationship unconsciously? Because you said it's a deal. I think for we to strike a deal, there must be consciousness, okay, conscious awareness about that thing between the two individuals. So what are you trying to say right now? Are you trying to say that we cannot get into a relationship unconsciously? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not quite, not quite. We can get into it unconsciously. Like when I say it's a deal, I know that it means that they must agree, to relate. Yeah, but in a place where people are that, like when you have people in a particular place, like for them to relate becomes inevitable. We can get into it unconsciously. Like assuming now in a workplace, people come every day, they see themselves every day, they work, they communicate, all that. When there is such an environment, there is actually a relationship happening there. So I think we can get into it unconsciously. Yes.
Okay, you said we can get into a relationship unconsciously. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. So the next question we have
Yeah.
right
So
now
it's not.
is
Yeah.
The next question we have right now is because we don't think about relationship, many people are not happy, okay, and we have one relationship or the other with one person or the other, and the truth is, if you want to be happy in your life, you must have good connections, okay. So you must have good connections. So like if many people are unhappy, then let's talk about relationships because it could be as a result of the relationships they are having. So right now, can you tell us why do we seem not to enjoy relationships?
Yeah, why we see relationships like is like I said, it happens between two or more persons. Now, if these two persons fail to understand each other, like if they fail to understand each other very, very well, it's very likely that they will not enjoy that relationship. Yeah, like for two persons to live and relate, they have to understand their characters and they have to know their likes and dislikes and know how to treat each other, know what each likes and what each does not like. If they fail to have this understanding, it will be a reason, one of the reasons why they won't enjoy that relationship. That's number one. Yeah, number two, when care is not there, when there's no care, like I say, two persons come together and agree to care for each other's needs, happiness, and all that. So when the reason for which they come to relate, when it's not actualized, when the care is not there, they won't feel happy in the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Talked about care, talked about the
Are you
reason.
getting me clear?
Yeah, 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 I can hear you clearly. We talk about care, talk about the reason for the relationship. So if you are in a, 'cause like are there types of relationships? Because I have relationship with my mom, with my dad, and the relationship with probably a girlfriend. Okay, so now are there types of relationship, and which of the one are you talking about?
Okay, I'm talking about in general, like
Okay,
in general, two persons. It can be between a man and a woman, a man and a man, a woman and a woman, a girl and a boy. Yeah, but actually, yeah, there are types of relationship. Actually, yeah, people relate with humans. That's one type, like human friendship. They relate with humans. That's number one, physical part of it. Then people also relate with God. That is God. Yeah, the people with God, there's activities that will please God and they will do things that please God and all that. That's another one. Then we have the sexual relationship between a man and a woman that is, for sexual and all that. Yeah, and that's the one that is in the family where family members have to cooperate, share things in common, do things for the good of everybody in the family. So there are types of it. Yes.
okay. So there are types of relationships. So right now, no, for me, I've seen so we have broken home relationships. Let's start with that. Broken home relationships, and to me, I feel it is the reason why many youths are not really successful. So there's in our country here in Nigeria, over here in Nigeria, there's kind of a broken link between the parents and the children, and there is kind of poor training of the children. So before we talk about failures youth encounter, I would like to talk about parenting in the home because the kind of relationship that will be established in a home depends on the parenting strategy which was initiated in that home. So can you talk to us about parenting? How can parenting create a good relationship in a home? Are there ways it can happen? If yes, then how?
Okay, yeah, parenting can create a good relationship in the home. Like if you talk about relationship actually, it hinges mainly on communication. Like communication. When the people involved, the parties involved are talking to each other to know their needs, talking to each other to exchange ideas. For example, when the man and the woman have good communication in the home, they will live in peace. And when they live in peace, when the home won't be broken, and to make the children to thrive, succeed easily in their endeavors. And also, when the parents also have time for their children, talk to their children, try to know about their aspirations, about their plans, desires, and all that. Such a home will grow, they will thrive. But in place where there's an issue with parenting, when parents don't play their role very well. When I say their roles, I mean their roles as husband and wives and their roles as parents. Husband and wife should live peace. Like I said earlier, they should have that understanding and have peace, between them. Because when there's peace, there will be success. People will thrive. People will succeed in what they do. So when parents fail, when the couple, when they fail to, have that peace between them, it will affect the family and it will affect the children. And as also when the parents also fail to communicate with the children, fail to have that close relationship with the children, to know how they fare and everything about the children, such family is likely that they'll have a broken home. The children might not succeed as desired. Yeah, so parenting goes a long way, to make success thrive
Wow,
in a family.
this is beautiful. Like that was beautifully said. Okay, like it is beautiful. Okay, so make sure you subscribe button if you're watching. I'm sure you definitely enjoy that too. You say parenting plays an important role when you talk about success of of children. So in a country where we're having the probably youth failing, we can as well point we can if we want to solve that problem, we'll definitely go into the relationships of the child, number one. Then talk about the parenting of the parent. What kind of strategy was initiated? What kind of strategy was used by the parents? Okay, those are things we would really have to deal with if we want to solve this problem. So you have talked to us about parenting and how parents have this weak relationship with their children. Some of the parents don't even teach the children anything. If at all they do, they don't teach them valuable things. I have watched movies and other things where you see Western movies where you see the father would tell the child, "Hey, come here. I want to teach you one important lesson." Like these are they teach their children. Core values, core lessons. That if that child grows up, even if he doesn't inherit anything from the father, the child will be able to be as great as the father. So this kind of strong bond is not there over here in our country, Nigeria. If you are watching, I don't know about you in your country. This kind of bond is not there. Why? Because the relationship between the father and the mother is not most times is not even strong. Then let alone the relationship between the parents and the children. So it goes in two ways. There has to be good relationship between the father and the mother, and also good relationship between the parents and the children. Okay, so is there a difference between just can I have a good relationship with my children and not and fail in my parenting? That's the question.
Yes, yeah. You can have a good group of children and fair in parenting. Like you just mentioned, as parenting, covers several grounds. For example, then as in enter with them and all that, but if you teach them morals, it's a failure in that um, aspect. Like first, a parent can say, hello,
I
can
can
you hear me?
go on.
Hello,
I can go on, you can go on.
huh?
Go
Can you hear
on.
me?
Yes.
Okay. So a parent can spend all the time. Yeah, a parent can spend all the time with the children. But when the parents fail to teach them morals, fail to teach them ideas, skills, knowledge, fail to build them, fortify them with discipline that they need to survive in this world, that parents may think that they are having a good relationship with their children, but they are failing in parenting. They are failing in parenting. You know, the children may love you, but you may not be a good parent. It's possible.
Okay, so that is good right now. I hope everyone got that clearly. So you may be a good parent. Your parents, children may love you, but you may be failing in the parenting aspect. So right now, how do I become a good? How do I like? What are some good parenting strategies you would give to parents watching?
Okay, yeah. Good parenting strategies. Um, One, teach your children what you know. Try to make your children see you as their role models in life. Like Try to make them see you as their mentors, like people that they can look up to. You know, some people say that parents are like the gods that children see, because children hear about God, they don't see God. Parents are the creators. God is the creator. So try to make your children see you as their role models. You know, their mentors. That's one. Speak to them about discipline. Like give them advice, teach them values, teach them things that they need to know to succeed. Like all those are tips that you know that are here to make one succeed. If you're a parent, when you teach those things to your children, that's you being a good parent. That's a good parent strategy, good parenting strategy. Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. But over here in our country, the truth is, most of the parents, let's talk about the ones that are uneducated. Most of them don't care. Okay, most of them don't care. So if you say they should teach them what they know, imagine such parent who doesn't care, nothing. Okay, now if that parent should teach that child what she knows, I'm sure that child is just going to end up like the parent. So what is your advice right now if you are a
Yeah.
child born to such a parent? What would be your advice?
Okay. Yeah. If a parent doesn't know much, maybe the parents wasn't privileged to gather knowledge much in the past, then it's in his or her place to try to put the child in a place and institution where the child can learn. Like now, the child's education, they should be willing to spend money in the child's education. Yeah, put the child in a good school. In a good school. That's number one. And ensure that this child is always in school. If possible, you can also pay an extramural, teacher to come around to teach this child extramural lessons. That's it will be. And as well, there are places where children get values. Encourage them to, be in those places. One is in the church. Encourage them to always be in the church, to hear good things that will help their lives. And as well, if you are a parent that doesn't know, try to ensure that you give your children those materials which can help them to know. One, make sure that they read books. For example, we had about the story of Ben Carson, the doctor in the
Yeah,
US,
yeah.
that at first was a dummy, couldn't read, couldn't write, and all that. In one of the books I was reading, he mentioned that his mom didn't know how to read and write, but it was his mom that made him to know how to read and write. But the mom was giving him task to complete every week. Was
Yes.
giving him books to read
Yeah.
every week. That you have to tell the mom. Yeah, but at that point he thought that the mom could read and write. He didn't know that the mom could not read and write. It was later in life that he discovered that this woman could not even read and write. Yet the woman ensured that she made this guy a reader, somebody who is intelligent. And today we hear of Ben Carson. So the fact that parents don't know much is not an excuse. It's not a reason why they can't really, impart something good to their children. If a parent does not know, the parents can actually pay those who know to teach their children. That's number one. They can still compel their children to get materials, that are filled with knowledge, like books, movies. Today there are audio books people can listen to.
Yeah.
There are, books people can read it. So the parents will ensure that they buy these books and ensure that these children read the books. Yeah.
Okay.
So not knowing is not an excuse. Like ignorance is not an excuse. The parents can still do something to, be good parents.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, and so you as a parent, even if you don't know anything, like you said, like you've heard him say something. If you don't, even if you don't know anything, you know what is right, what is good, and what is wrong, right? You know what is right and what is not right. You know all those things, right? Teach your children values. Okay, teach your children
Yes.
values. That will
Exactly.
help a lot.
Yeah.
Now, that story
Yeah.
of Ben Carson, I think is in a book, whether Dream Big by Ben Carson or one of them. I've also read that book. Okay, and just imagine, the mother taught him how to read, gave him weekly things. He had to visit, I think, the library also every week. Just imagine the mother gave him a good strategy that worked for him, despite her not knowing how to read. Okay, and yeah, not knowing how to read. So this is a big lesson to learn, okay? As a mother, it's a big lesson to learn. Okay, it's a big lesson to learn. So, Mr. Christian, can you talk about now relationship versus its toxicity? Now, is can relationship get to a toxic level? That is the question where you are to answer right now. Can a relationship go to a toxic level?
Yeah, I think it can get to a toxic level. How? Why? Because, like I said, the two people involved or those involved, they are there to groom each other. They are there to take care of each other, and they are there to enjoy the relationship. Now, in a case where one party is enduring and not enjoying the relationship, like one party is taking all the bullshit that comes up from the other party, one party is not really feeling the relationship actually. At that point, it can get to a toxic level, actually, yeah. And in a case where there is no understanding, like I said again, when there is no understanding, people, when there's always friction among the two parties involved, and one party is the one that always has to endure. The person is not actually getting what really brought him or her in the relationship. At that point, you can say it's toxic.
Okay.
Now, also in the other side of it, when a man and a woman are involved in a relationship now, and there's there's physical abuse, like physical abuse, the man beats the woman and all that, or the man uses words which are not supposed to be used for the woman. At that point, it has become toxic. Yes.
Okay. So, do you believe that people must quarrel in a relationship? Do you believe that? Because for me, I say I am not going to quarrel in my home. Okay, even with my wife. So I am really strict. I'm a strict person sometimes, especially when it comes to business and everything. I am saying that I'm not going to get I'm going to get married without quarreling. Okay, but many people are always objecting it. Hey, you can't do this. I want to ask you a question right now. You said if there is kind of exchange of words, okay, that means that the relationship is now approaching a toxic level. So right now, can a relationship thrive without quarreling?
Tell you, yes, it can thrive without quarreling. But the one where there's quarreling will thrive more than the one where there's no quarreling. Like for people to, bond stronger, they have to disagree to agree. Like you have to at some point disagree. When you disagree with somebody, you get to know the person better. You get to understand that two persons to have those issues. When they have those issues, they get to bond better, to bond stronger. And so a relationship where there's no quarreling won't really thrive that much. If it tries actually, like one party is just choosing to ignore and to endure it and just to prove a point. But normally there should be quarreling, there should be disagreements among two persons for them to get stronger. Even among siblings and families. Once in a while, they won't agree in everything. They won't agree in everything. So if they agree in everything, it makes the whole thing boring. You understand? It makes everything boring. So, but at some point when they have disagreements, yeah, and able to agree after that disagreement, they get stronger. So I believe that for you to thrive, sometimes you should be quarreling. Yes.
Okay. For it to thrive, he says sometimes there should be quarreling. What kind of quarreling? Can you give the exact one? Is it fighting or exchange of words or disagreement?
Yeah, the one that I will go against, the one that's not good is the one that will involve fighting, physical abuse. Yeah,
Okay.
but they can exchange words, they can argue. Two persons can once in a while argue
Okay.
about politics,
Mm.
about movies, about
Okay.
football,
Okay.
about who is your favorite actor or actress, who is your
Okay.
favorite musician, who is your favorite footballer.
Okay.
All those things. Like if they argue about these things and it gets hot and hot, the hotter it gets, the better for the two of them.
Okay.
As it gets hotter and they argue about it, the better for them. So argument, yes, but hamper a relationship. Like every other thing except physical abuse.
Okay, so every other thing except physical abuse. Okay, so what if right now I because two people quarrel because they have opposite views about one particular thing. Now, what if I because for me, if I have a person that is just like me, as wise as I am, as educated as I am, and everything, I don't think we would do quarrel. Why? Because we would know what to talk about, we will know what not to talk about. What if I get married to a lady who is as advanced as I am? Do you think there will still be quarreling, or do you think there will still be need for quarreling? Because we will be able to be happy without quarreling. You said quarreling makes the relationship sweet, right? What if we can get different, better ways to actually be happy in that same relationship without quarreling? Do you think that is possible?
Yeah, if you get someone like you, the fact that the person is like you does not stop the fact that you guys will quarrel. Now, let me say something like a question, although you won't answer.
Okay.
Like, let me just say something. Um, do you sometimes do something and feel bad for yourself? Like, do you sometimes take an action and regret it and you feel bad about yourself? Yes,
I hardly
I
do
think so.
it. I don't. I hardly do something and regret it. Why? Because I always do what I want to do. So I hardly do something I regret it. Either I do something and if it does not turn out well, I learn from it. I hardly regret anything I do.
But do you make mistakes?
Should I say I don't really make mistakes because whatsoever I do and probably there is kind of it did not happen as planned. What I do is I take it as a blessing in disguise by Napoleon Hill. I take them as a blessing in disguise. To me, this does not happen as planned. There's always a lesson that thing is going to teach me, either about setting up that thing or one thing. So I don't see it as a mistake at all. This is I'm telling you the fact. I'm not hiding anything. That's why to me I don't believe I make mistakes. But whatsoever that did not come out as I plan is always teaching me a lesson. It's always teaching me a lesson because I always plan way before I strike.
Okay, yeah, I got you. But if you have a person just like you,
Okay.
and that person also does things, and the things happen not to go as planned, how would you feel about it?
If I have somebody like me and the person does things that doesn't go as planned, to me I will just kind of I think in what way? In what way? If I have a person by my side right now, let's say a lady who values happiness, because I love to be always happy and I hate shouting. He values happiness and who knows like shout who does not also like shouting as I do and who likes like to be vibrant and who likes business, setting your own business, having different sources of income. I don't think she would have any issues. So concerning me, I don't think there will be any mistakes. I don't think so. Because I don't think so. I don't think so. So that person will not do anything that will piss me off.
Okay, okay. What you're saying to me now sounds impossible. Like you can't eliminate these things as life. You can't eliminate mistakes. You understand? So when you have a person beside you, and the person is just like you, has your mindset, has your value system and everything about you, I think that mistakes are inevitable. That you can't avoid mistakes. So, like, you may not have issues. You may try to understand every situation, try to tolerate everything. But once in a while, issues may still arise.
But what kind of
Like,
issues?
you can't avoid issues. You can't avoid.
What kind of issues? Let's
Huh?
discuss this now. What kind of issues? For
Now,
instance, now I have
okay,
I
the
get
issues now. Yeah, yeah.
but let's talk about married
Yeah,
women.
the
Marriage. Let's talk
issues
about
now
that.
are
Let's talk about marriage. For instance, now I get married
yes,
now
yeah.
and the lady I get married to hates indecency. She dresses properly and she understands the value of taking care of the children. She has knowledge about how to raise kids, subconscious programming and everything. Like the lady is just as intelligent as I am and as educated as I am, having the same probably the same information as I do. Like I don't think there will be disagreements.
Okay, now in that marriage too, the lady is just as you are, as educated as you are, and
Yeah,
everything. Now, let's assume now you guys will have family needs, like you have needs, things to take care of. And assuming you have your money and her money in one account, let's say you guys have a joint account. Now, in a case as you have needs, of course, you arrange your needs instead of preference, right? Now,
yeah,
assuming now the need that may rank first in that list may want, and what you want at that point in time may not be what she wants at that point in time. Like assuming there is a need in the family, and what you want at that particular point in time may not be what you want at that particular point in time. I think there will be a friction, there will be a disagreement. Like if you tell her, okay, see, we'll use this money for this, and she'll be like, no, 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 let's use this money for something else. Then at that point, it may be that what you want, you really want that thing to come to the family at that point. Because even though you guys are similar, are like, you will still differ in some ways. Like your choices at some point may differ. You understand? At some point in time, your choices may differ. So if in that case there's a disagreement, because sometimes you as a person, you can have this conflict with your own mind. With your own mind. Sometimes your mind may better you do this and you want to do something else. It happens to everybody. So if you have conflict with your mind in most cases, you can still have it with a human being, like your partner. You can have, you know, conflicting idea or choices
okay, but
at some
let
point
me
in
come
time.
in because for me, I don't usually have conflict in my mind because I usually had it before, but like as we grow and expose ourselves to information books, I tend to obey my mind all the time. So I usually don't have conflict in my mind. So another thing is for that joint account for me, I want to prove that this thing is possible. Marriage without quarreling is possible. That's what I'm trying to prove here. For me right now, I wouldn't be stupid to have a joint account with my wife also. But I won't be stupid to have a joint account with her. Number one. Then number two, what I just have to do is I would search well for her. I will search well for whoever I'm getting married to. And having a joint account is useless, number one. It's useless. I will try and look for a lady who is just like me, if possible. That is just what I'm gonna do. That's my strategy. Do you think it will work?
Yeah, of course, it will work, but I don't think that you won't have quarrels in that marriage. Like once, maybe not quarrels like the one I indicated or something, but you will disagree at some point in time. You will disagree. At some point in time, you may come down. Maybe she want to watch a football movie, and at that point in time, she wants to watch her own movie, her own show.
Okay, that is what
It's
I'm
either
gonna.
you leave the remote there to avoid the problem, but yeah, wait. If you leave the remote there, and for her to have her way, you may not feel happy completely. Then if you refuse to leave the remote, and she also wants to watch that thing, at that point, you have conflict.
Okay, what
So
if?
you
What
can't have
if?
like a conflict-free, relationship.
Okay, what if she's just like me? Okay, that likes the exact thing I like. Okay, for me, I love wrestling. Okay, what if she's just like me that who loves wrestling too? I don't think we would have issues if I can get married to a lady who has
Okay,
same values
wait, yeah,
as I am. I am not sure we are gonna
but
quarrel.
it's this okay, but is wrestling the only show you love?
For me, I love wrestling and I love watching Philippine movies. Those are the two movies I love, and I love playing game. Okay,
Okay,
that is
now okay, now let's say the time for the wrestling and the time for the movie for the show happens to be the same time, and you happen to have one television there in your house. Then at that point in time, you really want to watch the Philippine movies, and she really wants to watch wrestling. Since the both of you love the two shows, love both wrestling and the movies.
Yeah.
Then at that point, one person has to sacrifice for the other person.
That's not sacrifice because we both love the things.
Yes.
So
Then
we
if
do not call it sacrifice because we both love it.
but at that particular point in time, at that particular point in time, there is one show that you really want to watch. Like myself now, I can watch wrestling and enjoy it. I love football, but I don't watch wrestling at all time because there are moods for all these things. Now, I may not be in the mood to watch wrestling. I may be in the mood to watch football. Then, assuming you are in the mood to watch wrestling, and she happens to be in the mood to watch the Philippine movies, one person has to give up what he or she really wants at that particular point in time. Then, if you give up, if you are allowed to watch the movies, you may suppress the anger, but actually your mood will change.
But for me, I know how to kind of change my mood. Okay, that is it. So I want to prove to people it's possible for you to get married without quarreling. But I know how to change my mood, and if I want to do it. Epigenetics tells us with your mind you controls your gene, you control your genes and everything. So I know how to change my mood quickly. So if I love Philippine movies and I also love wrestling, I know how to change my mind quickly. I know how to do everything quickly. Okay, so what if I'm that kind of person? Then definitely there will be no issues.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So why do people
When,
just
when,
think,
when you change your mood,
okay?
when you change your mood, when you try to control your mind, that control or that changing is unnatural. Like it's not natural. It's not a natural thing. Meaning that you are trying to, apply some strategy which is not natural. So you won't feel happy completely because it's not happening on its own. It's not happening naturally. It's not flowing naturally. When it's like somebody now faking a smile, like in you're not feeling happy, but you just fake a smile because you want to change your mood. You want people to see you having a bright mood. Like that particular thing, you're taking a laughter or a smile. It's not natural. Deep down, you're not feeling the way your face is showing. Like what your face is showing, so what you're feeling inside. So, like, you can't eliminate issues when two persons are together.
But for me, I really don't pretend to. I hate to pretend. So, kind of that aspect of not taking exactly what you want and happen to feel bad or sacrifice, I really don't go through it. So I don't think even in marriage I will go through that. I won't pretend, and probably that would be number one reason why we're going to be extremely happy. So, Mr. Christian, let's leave that area and let's come over to home right now. Can you discuss home? What do you let's define home. Define home right now for us to actually know what is home.
Okay, home is a place of peace, like a place where somebody gets peace. That's home. Like I can liken home to heaven, a place of
Okay.
rest and peace.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that's true.
a place that after the whole activity of the day, you can come back and have peace of mind, have rest. That particular place come back is home. Then if you have a partner that you can come to every day and have peace, that person is home. Like a human being can be home.
Okay.
Anything that gives you peace of mind is home. A place you
Wow.
can come and have your rest and have shelter, of course, but it's all about peace and rest.
Yes, that's true, and I agree with you on that. Because yeah, when you go out there, you bust your ass for whatever you want, you come back. Home is the best place you can have when it comes to relaxation. If you want to really relax and
Yes.
cool your nerves, like a home is the best place.
Yes.
Okay, it's where you feel the most
Yes.
and most security. Okay, it's when you just have to. The home is everything. The home is everything. Okay, so that is really true.
Yeah.
You liken home to be heaven where someone has a peace. So you should understand this. Okay, so if you are a parent and there's no peace in your home, you don't have a home. Just go look for somewhere else. You don't have a home. You don't have a home. So understand that if you are a parent. So and that is it. So from what you asked right now, how do we establish a home? Because she said home is a place of peace. So right now, how do we establish a home? That is the question.
Okay, how to establish a home? First of all, there's a house, that's a building, there's a house. Now there are people in the house, as a family. Now, when there is peace in the family, when everybody cares for one another in a family, when there is, in fact, when there is love, love is what I'm looking for, is the word I'm looking for. When
Yes.
there is love in a family, actually, yeah, a home can be easily established. Love between the father and the mother, love among the children, love between the mother and the children, love between the father and the children. When there is love, of course, there will be communication. They communicate, they know how each other is faring.
Yeah.
When this continues in a particular house, there will be a home in that house. Yeah. When
Okay.
everybody cares about the welfare of the other person, everybody wants to see smile and laughter on the face of the other person. Parents want to see smile and laughter on the faces of their children. Children want to see smiles and laughter on the faces of their siblings. Wife want to see smile and laughter on the husband's face, and vice versa. When this is there, when there is love, there is care, there will be a home.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, so there's love. There will be a home. So right now, Mr. Christian, can you talk to us because we know that difference in values, okay, can create disagreement and can create separation. If a husband values indecent dressing and the wife values decency, there's going to be disagreement there, and that will lead to separation. So right now, like if you are in a home where like there is kind of a different value system between you and your brothers or you and whosoever one person or the other, what do you do right now to establish a home?
Okay, yeah. Um, when there is different value system, like I mentioned earlier, understanding actually goes a long way, but it's not enough. Like to understand that I hate indecency is not enough. Like having that understanding is not enough to build a home. What would build a home is one person has to adjust. One person has to make a shift. One person has to tolerate, has to start loving things he or she hates. For example, now I don't have issues with indecency, and my wife loves decency. And I know that if I continue living that way, there will not be peace in that particular home, or there will be no home. So for me to have a home, I have to adjust. I have to shift a little bit and start forcing myself to love what the other, forcing myself to love what the other person loves. Try to value what the other person values, even though it's not easy. Yeah, I can control myself to do that. That's where having power to control your mind comes in now. Like you can force yourself, you can put yourself in the person's shoe, try to love what people loves, try to understand he or she. With that, I think they can get a home.
Okay. Okay, but you said we should try to love or try to value the values of the other person. If you are in that situation where there's different values in the home and you understand it's creating separation, you try to value what the other person values. So now what if the values of the other person is bad? Should you try to value the values of that person? Then what should you do?
No, no. Like when I talked about adjustments,
Yeah.
it's not for the good guy.
Okay.
The person that has to adjust is the bad guy.
Okay, the bad guy has to
Yeah,
adjust. Okay.
between the two persons here, the one whose values obviously are not the good values are the ones that have to adjust, not the ones like you asked me about indecency and decency, right?
Yes.
Now, yeah, the one that values indecency is the one that has to adjust. And if he or she, says no to adjust, that means there will be conflict in that home.
Okay.
Because the one that's already good has no reason to change. You understand?
Okay. Okay. So right now, what are the tips you have for young people, young girls who are unmarried, singles, who want to get into marriage and they're asking themselves, hey, I don't want disagreement. How can I reduce it to the least level? For me, there's gonna be no disagreement. No I'm gonna make sure I do that. What about the other people who are not as developed as I am? And I'm asking the question right now, how do I reduce all these things? I have been in a home where they fight here and there. What if the question is right now, how do I do that? Nobody likes fighting, nobody likes abuses, nobody likes all those things right now. So, how do one get into a marriage without that is going to ensure probably no disagreements? Okay, that is it. So, what is your like advice to the singles?
Okay, the singles you mentioned, the ladies, right?
Yes,
Okay, for the young ladies that want to go into marriage and they don't want disagreement, one of the reasons I think people have disagreement in marriage is when the lady wants to play the man in the marriage. Like these days now, we have feminism everywhere.
yes,
Feminism, like you see ladies saying that they have equal rights with their husbands, like they have power as the husband has power too. Such thing. A man naturally is meant to have pride and ego. A man wants to be the man in a house. So in a house where the lady comes in and fails to give the man that honor that the man thinks he deserves, there will be disagreement. But if a lady comes in and tries to know her place, she is just a support to this man. Like when in terms of making decisions, she shouldn't try to make her own decision to be what to stand on all times. Men don't like that. When the man is allowed to be the man, I think that's one of the ways they can limit disagreement. Yeah. Then again, number two is that's why people court before they marry. People come together to know each other better before they get married. Now, when this lady has come with a man and they are courting or they are having an affair before the marriage, it's left for her to study this man, know his likes and his dislikes. If there are things you know that this man does not like, to the best of her ability, she tries to avoid those things. If it's a man that gets angry easily, like there's a who has an anger issue, to the best of her ability, she should, look a way not to make him angry easily. You know, if she can try to avoid those dislikes of the man, I think it will help them have a better home. Yeah.
okay,
So I mentioned 2 or 3 points here.
yes.
I
Okay,
think the
that's
other ones
brilliant
too.
too. Then what about those girls who tell you, hey, we'll go to the men's area. What about those girls who tell you, hey, this is who I am. If you cannot accept me the way I am, then you should just go here and there. So many girls right now, that's what they say right now. They say, as the way girls I've spoken to to many of them, they will tell you if the like guys should know what they want in women. Like if you know what you want, so that you just go for the kind of person you want and just grab. So it makes them not to do anything about their own life, not to work on themselves because they believe that somebody will like the kind of person that they are. So you see the whole mindset. So what is your advice to the teenagers watching right now who believes, hey, who have heard someone say that kind of rubbish that you just, hey, it's like one person is gonna come, is gonna like you the way you are, and you've not worked on yourself. Like that doesn't work. Reasonable guys will never choose anyhow. That is the simple freaking truth. They will never choose anyhow. So you gotta work on yourself, work on yourself as a girl. Okay, that's very, 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 very. So we were talking about kind of relationship and the home and to avoid having a broken home. You want to get married. Like I asked the previous question I asked was this. Like some girls will tell you, hey, men should know what they want in a woman. Okay, so this creates this nonchalance or this complacency in them that, hey, I have to work on myself. The guy has to come. There will be a guy somewhere who would like me as I am for who I am. That's why I really don't like hearing anything from actors and actresses' mouth. They say talk a lot about, they teach about relationships in films, yet they have broken homes. So I really don't feel relationship is something that should be like a story everybody should be telling. Nope. I think relationship should be as easy as any other thing. But now it's as if go to a girl right now, what she will tell is relationship. I was in a relationship with somebody. It's as if now a school that everybody has to go through and get a certificate from. Like I don't think it is like that. So right now, can you help us position everything right now? Those girls right now are saying, "Hey, and every man should know what he wants in a woman." Like, create those kind of girls who are just totally laser focused on relationship, like as if it's a big problem. What is your advice for those girls?
Okay, I will advise them to work on themselves. Like that's the only thing because when they think that nothing is wrong with them, I mean, it's a very, very bad mindset, thinking that nothing is wrong with them and that anybody who like them will come around. That's the reason why we have divorces everywhere. You see celebrities, they get into marriage and tomorrow they're hearing that they have separated and all that. Those girls that think that they have nothing to do, to their own lives. I mean, they should stop. They should snap out from that and try to work on themselves. But if in a case when they have checked themselves after they have assessment and they see that they don't have issues actually, then fine. But most of them normally have issues. Most of the people who say that they don't always have good characters. They're the ones that will still get into marriage and create problems in the marriage. So the advice I will give to them is that they should work on themselves and not assume that they are perfect because they are not. So they to really work on themselves. Those things that they know that cause problems in the marriage tomorrow, they should try to fix those things before they get into marriage. And if you look at some of them, so most people who say that it's either they stay on marriage or when they get into marriage, they separate. Some will be aging, like they'll be getting 30, 40 and above without being married. It's just character. No man can, can bear to stay with such a person. So for them to avoid these issues, they should just work on their character. That's all I have to say to them.
So what's your advice regarding the men? Because those watch right now, if the female is watching this video right now, you're gonna ask, hey, let's talk about the male. Let's talk about the male. I even trying to see anything like the males. For me, I would say what is affecting males is poor values. Number one thing I would say, and poor mindset. Okay, about life and everything. So right now, what do you think is the problem right now with guys?
Okay, yeah. Like for the men, I would say this. Like being a man is not enough. Like just being a man is not enough to get somebody into marriage and make marriage work. Actually, so as a man too, the man also should also work on himself. Everybody have work to do. The man and the woman, they all have works to do. Yeah, like I said, four people marry, they court, they come together to know each other. Now, as they come together to know each other, if a man sees some traits in him that are not good, that may possibly bring problems in the marriage, the man should work on those things. Like a man who has issue with his temper and all that should work on it because if he fails to work on it for the marriage, definitely it will result into a problem in the marriage. Yeah, so men are not exempted here. Like most men actually believe that being a man is enough. Like some men will be like when it's something bad, they'll be like it's a man's world. That being a man covers, several things. It's not done that way. This marriage, people come together to work about how they can, make something out of life. Like people come together to bring us together to support themselves. The woman should work on herself. That way, the marriage will thrive. It would go well.
So the man should also work on himself, okay? So you can get that clearly. The man should also work on himself, okay? I hope that is clear. So right, the next question is, what are the things in our homes that extend into the society to initiate a terrible effect? What are some things that are done in our homes that usually do extend into the society to initiate a terrible effect? What are some of those things?
Okay, the things that are done in the home that extend society to bring about some
To
terrible situations,
effects,
right?
yes.
Okay, I would say poor home training, like poor home training. Um, Today we see some people, some men in marriages that are not good, that are bad, but this attitude, this character that they have in their marriage actually does not start in that marriage. It began from origin, from their homes. When parents fail to, train these boys very, very well as boys, they will grow up and be men that are bad. Like I read an article some days ago on Facebook about, a man who is abusive. The person realizes that this man didn't just become abusive in the marriage. That it began from when this man was still a small boy. Like when a small boy will do something bad, instead of the mother to confront the small boy, they'll be like, ah, it's a child, it's a child. The small boy will slap the mother. The mother will say, ah, you're a strong man, though, slapping mommy. Instead of beating the small boy. That thing continues. The small boy grows up to a certain level, beats siblings anyhow. Instead of them to caution that small boy, they'll call him Superman, hard man, hey, you are strong, oh, you are beating siblings. The small boy will caution those who are older than him. They'll call him hit man, action man. He will insult teachers. They'll call him a no nonsense boy. Then that same boy will grow up, you know, with that same character. And possibly he will get into marriage with that same character. If you look at it, it's not actually his fault. It's what he did not get from home, that now left home with him and now gets into the society. So I think poor home schooling are things that, from home enter into the society.
No,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Okay. Um, for training. Okay, right now, can you tell us more about roles of the father? Because someone once said, I usually teach them a lot. He said something. He said, let me quote him. He said, "I was the one my father loved at first, but as we begin to grow, there tend to be this mutual hatred between both of us." That was what he said. He said it was like his father loved him so much when he was growing, when he was young, at his mother's knee. His father loved him so much. But now that he the begin is now like probably 12, 13, that there's this mutual hatred between both of them. He's now beginning to hate the father is now beginning to hate him right now. Then this thing usually goes on in our homes, especially here in Nigeria. I don't know about other countries. But right now, so what are the roles of the father? Let's get that clearly.
Okay. The roles of the father. I will say it both as a way to answer the question and as advice to people who are fathers. Actually, like the father's role is not just to pay school fees, provide money for food, they'll pay for shelter, house rent, and all that. Like a father plays more role than those. Like a father should be the one who should be close to the children. The father should be the one who should give moral advice to the children. The father should be the one who should teach values, to the children. The father shouldn't be the one who is always at work. It is his role because the children will listen to the father more than the mother. When the father advises a child, the words of the father are more weight than that of the mothers. So the father shouldn't be the one that spend most of his time at work trying to get all the money, not having time for the family. So it should be the one that gives all the advice, that spends time with the children. That's one of the roles of the father. Then the other one is the father should be the one that should ensure that he inculcates discipline. He instills discipline among the children. He brings discipline in the family. Of course, he's the father. He's the head of the house. He's the god of the house. So he should be the one to bring discipline. So I think teaching values, spending time with the children, and teaching them discipline are the three cardinal roles that should play. Not just to provide money for school fees, for food, for shelter, clothing, and all that. You know, you should play most of those, parental role more.
Okay. What about if you have a father who is rich? He has three wives, for instance, or let's say he has four wives or five wives. He's rich. He doesn't care. He doesn't even spend time with you in your house. He doesn't spend time with you, and all he knows is money, taking care of you. What would you do if you had such a father?
Okay. If a person has such a father, I would say that that person is not a father now. Like a father that only cares about what he builds and ignoring his family. Like he cares about what he acquires, how many wives he marries, and what he acquires, and doesn't really care about the family. I would say, in my opinion, that the person is not being a good parent there. So that's what I would say.
Okay, the person not being a good parent there. And what do you actually do as a child right now? You really hate the way he's doing things, but you are not powerful than him. If you want to leave the home, you are going to be the one who's going to suffer. What do you do? Would you advise the child to stay in that situation? Would you advise the child to do?
Please come again, come again.
Okay, let's assume you are in that kind of situation right now. What would you advise a child to do? A child that is in such situation where, because if you advise the child to leave the house right now, like the child is going to suffer. Okay, so the truth is this right now: the child is somehow at the mercies of the father. What would you advise the child to do? Should the child just bear and accept everything the father does and just, or what would you say to the child? Should the child just love the father like that, or just express, just be himself, or whatsoever? What would you advise children in such situations?
Okay, if a child in that situation can express how he or she feels to the father, maybe try to make the father know that, hey, they are not doing well as a father here, and this is how you should treat us, and they are not doing it that way. That's the first role he or she has to play. I mean, the child has to play. Then, if after complaining or expressing himself or herself, the man does not change, the child won't kill himself or herself. He or she should just carry on with his life. Then try to get the other, moral guidance that he can possibly get, whether it's from the mother or from the teacher or from books he or she reads or from, programs or anything. Like if the child can't really change the father, but if the father, behaves in a way that's not good, and the child tries to express himself or herself, and that thing does not change anything, then he or she should just carry on with it, not to hate anybody, not to hate the father, because hating the father won't change anything.
Okay.
You understand? Then
Yes.
it's just for child to be wise and try to get moral guidance from any possible place that must not be from the father.
Wow, that's a good advice. Those watching right now, you have to understand that. So now, why is there lack of financial knowledge in our homes? Of our in Nigeria right now, we're having this naira scarcity here and there. So for me, if I were a father, what I would do, I'll play the game well. Okay, I will use this opportunity to teach my children about money. I will use this opportunity to teach them and educate them about money, because this is an opportunity for you to actually teach your children and raise them well. Because for me, if I were a father, what I would do is this: I would prepare myself. My priority is number one is to eliminate money I spend on food. Okay, if as I'm growing right now, what I want to target is get a land and farm. Okay, imagine I have a farm that gives me a plantain every 6 months. I would buy plantain again. Imagine I have a farm that gives me tomatoes every 6 months. I won't buy tomatoes again. Imagine I have a farm that gives me pepper every 6 months. I won't buy pepper anymore again. So right now, if I were a father, what I would do is I'll play the game well. I'll play the game. I'll make sure food stuff is in the house and everything, so that this period we won't even lack anything. Then in that solution that I have profiled, I will teach my children about money and economy. But yeah, you have fathers not even knowing anything about this. You have fathers just ranting, da, 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 da. They don't have any good thing to even teach their children right now. That's the simple freaking truth. So what do you have to say about something like this? And why is there financial lack of financial knowledge in our homes, especially in our houses? Because your definition says home is a place of peace, right? In a place of peace, there ought to be all this understanding. So right now, what is the lack? Why is the lack? Why is there lack of financial knowledge in our houses, especially in Nigeria?
Okay, why there is lack of financial knowledge, that the parents themselves lack the financial knowledge and they can't give what they don't have. Like most parents actually, they don't have that knowledge actually. And if they don't have it, they can't teach their children. So why there is lack of it is that we Nigerians are unwilling see parents going for seminar, like food
Mm.
seminar on how to be financially intelligent. People don't spend money on that. They see those things as waste of money, waste of time and resources. Parents don't really pay money to learn. And when they fail to learn, they will have nothing to transmit to their children. Of course, if they have the knowledge, they want to transmit this to their children because every parent wants the good of their children. So why there is lack of financial knowledge in Nigeria is that people are unwilling to learn. That's just why.
Wow.
That's why. And when they don't have it, they can't teach their children. That's why it is spreading.
Okay, let's discuss this right now. People are unwilling to learn, but let's talk about the people right now who are teaching these people right now. For instance, parents now who want financial knowledge right now. Most of the parents we're talking about have attended a lecture, one lecture or the other. They've attended a lecture, and in the lecture they don't find it interesting. Most of the parents, they don't find it interesting. Most times the people right now who are actually organizing the seminars are not selling solutions. Most of them are not selling solutions. What they'll just tell you is probably, most of them, for instance, now if Bitcoin right now is what is in vogue, they'll just organize a seminar on Bitcoin. Like, it doesn't solve a problem. For crying out loud, that is not a solution. That is not a solution. So what I would say is the people who are actually coming out right now to teach, who actually say they have the financial knowledge, don't even have the financial knowledge. So what you are saying is also correct in this aspect, that Nigerians don't like to learn, including the teachers don't also like to learn. Just like in school, there are some teachers who won't teach you effectively. They are called teachers, right? They call them teachers, but they don't teach you effectively. You see it right now. So right now, how will you, the students, how will you learn when the teachers don't teach you effectively? Why? Because they themselves, the teachers, don't learn. That is just what we are having, even on the seminar level. The people coming out to teach, they don't know. They don't know as much as they ought to know. Once Bitcoin comes out right now, the whistle blows, and they just organize seminar telling you about Bitcoin. Are you in control of the Bitcoin? Are you in control of what is going on? That's why I never love Bitcoin, because I do things that I am in control of. Are you in control of the Bitcoin? It can crash any day. What will happen? Will you kill the person? No. So this kind of knowledge is not there. Like, they just organize it now and telling you Bitcoin, bring your money and invest. When I don't know the person I'm investing my money, I don't know anything about the stuff. Tell me Bitcoin is digital money here and there. Are we not having physical money? We have also digital naira too. So why would I need to invest in that kind of thing? So the people who call themselves teachers are not teachers. That is the main problem we have in Nigeria. The lack of learning spirit is in almost everyone. The people who call themselves the teachers are not even curious. They don't even learn. They teach the nonsense they know. So I think this is the reason why Nigerians don't just like to learn. Because the people who are teaching aren't doing their jobs, aren't doing it well, aren't doing it effectively. To me, that is exactly what is happening, not to me. I always say something. I always say we have many opinions, but there's always a truth. We have opinions about how the earth rotates, but there's a truth behind how the earth rotates. If your opinion about how the earth rotates is in sync with the truth about how the earth rotates, then your opinion is valid. Then your opinion should be taken as a standard. You see, so what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say right now is the truth. The teachers are not doing it effectively. I have students who I teach who are actually not effective in school, but when they come to me and when I start to teach them, they become effective. So now, what was the problem? Their teachers were the problem. You see it? So right now, for Nigerians not learning, the problem I would say is as a result of the teachers, the system. We have to change a lot of things. The non-learning spirit is in almost everyone. And if it's in almost everyone, then we can say it's from the home, it's from the house, it's from the home. Okay, it's from the home. So right now, what would you have to say right now to parents who actually create a situation where the child loses its values or its curiosity? Okay, what would you have to say to those parents right now? Because many child, many sorry, children like I can be born right now and I can, like, children are always curious, right? They say children are very, very curious, right? But why is it that when the child gets to 12, 13 years old, everything dies? So right now, if this is in everybody, we can say, and it's probably in a common strategy, okay, which is obviously our parenting strategies right now. The parenting strategies over here in Nigeria is so dumb. What is your advice to parents who say, okay, I want to raise my kids to be curious? Because curiosity is what creates a good teacher, right? So right now, if we have good teachers, we have good products. If we have good products, we have good economy. If we have good economy, we have good Nigeria. So right now, what is your advice right now to those parents who want to retain the curiosity of their children from childhood to adulthood?
Okay, my advice to those parents is this: like, if they want that mind, that curious mind to remain in their parents, if they want in their children's rather, if they want the children to be curious, they should get fully involved in the children's education. They should get fully involved in the children's education. Like when the children come back, they should try to know what they are doing in school. Try to, get involved. Possibly ask the children questions. Try to answer the questions. Try to even give the children tasks to do. Like I mentioned Ben Cassie's mother earlier, that she was giving the boy tasks to complete every week. And those things, from the books the boy was reading, he felt curious to learn. He became curious about rock, about how a particular rock was formed. He studied that. And that happened to be the question he answered and shocked everybody in class one time. The boy that was once seen as a dummy. That question that he read from the book his mom asked him to read, that was the question he answered. So parents should also give the children tasks to complete, give them researches to make, get involved, fully involved in the children's education. When they do so, they will increase that curiosity in the children. I think so. Like in a nutshell, those parents should get involved in children's education.
Okay. What about parents who don't care about education? Like if you go deep down right there in Nigeria, you walk straight down and down the street and you ask questions, you see parents saying all sort of nonsense about education. We tell you nonsense. I mean nonsense about education right now. So right now, like such parents are not productive in any level. Now you see, Ben Carson's mom was not educated, but she was effective. You see, she was effective, she was productive, despite not being educated. But over here, there's no productivity. You as a parent, you did not go to school and you just don't care about education. Right now, what would you say right now to such parents?
Okay, like they are not informed and they're not productive. Like I will not say sorry to them, Sha. I'll tell them sorry, actually, but they can still do something about the situation. They can remedy their situation as well. If they can't do it, actually, they can hire those who can do it. They can be close to the teachers in school, like these children's teachers. If they are not productive, the parents, let's say, like that, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is knowing things. Wisdom is doing things right. So
Yeah,
they can use their discretion, their wisdom to track these children's education. If it's like asking the teachers how the progress of these children, whether or not they care, and they just ask, try to make the teachers know that you want the best for your children. Then if it's possible to also employ teachers who take them on special classes like extramural lessons,
yeah,
that will go a long way to
that's
help the
true.
children. Like
That's true.
as in the case where the parents don't have the time to even look
Yeah,
into they can hire people to do so for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true because I myself I took a lot of extramural class, especially when I was in GSS one, GSS two. Man, the teacher there back then, Kai, man, I was probably the best in the class back then. So I usually attend extramural. But what if right now you are trying to say, like what you're trying to say is I am a parent. I am not educated. I have wisdom. I want my children to be educated. Even if I am not productive, I can hire people for them. Now, if what if I don't have interest in the education? Okay, there are parents like that in Nigeria. There are a lot of them. That's why we have problems. There are a lot of them like that. What if the parents themselves don't like the education? Some of them, when they give it to their children, they'll tell you, hey, once the child gets to so age, I will take you to a mechanic workshop. You see such mentality against that is most of them are against school. So right now, what would you advise them? Right? They are destroying the children right now. Yes, they are destroying the children. So what would you advise the parents, and what would you advise a child that is under such parents?
Okay, first of all, I will advise the parents to have that interest, because at the end of it all, education remains the bedrock of everything. Like every child needs and deserves education. Then I will advise the parents to just develop to see the need, to see the importance of education. Because I won't say that they just grow with that and remain like that. No, it's not a good one. If every parent is like that, I wonder how the country will be in some years to come. So I would advise them to develop that interest. Then again, if they really do not want education, then there's what we call basic education. It's a level to which you would give your child an education. If you say that you don't want him or her to go to university or to the polytechnics to get the conventional higher education,
Mm.
it's fine. Some people can go for vocational education, like vocational stuff,
Mm.
learn skills, not compulsory that to be in the university. Some persons can learn skills like IT skills. There are some skills. There are some schools that are not universities that as they go to and learn skills. Even the mechanic, like we talked about, some
Yeah.
can go to technical institution and learn those ones. Maybe not in university, but at least give that child a basic education so that he or she can know how to read and write, how to speak, how to express himself or herself. But at last, at the end of it all, one is, can you express yourself? Can you speak with intellectuals? So at least parents should think of giving their children basic education first. Then when they get to a certain level, they may now enroll them in vocational centers where they can get vocational training. Since if they don't believe in the normal higher institution, because most parents have the mindset that it's all about making money. It's all about getting to a point and start making money. Yes, but at least you owe that child a basic education. WAEC, at least WAEC. Let that child finish secondary school. Then put him or her in any place you so wish. But then a child now that's written WAEC, at least 17, 18 years, that child has known what he or she wants in life.
Yeah.
He or she has known what he or she wants in life. So if the parents, if the parents achieve that level or give the child WAEC, it's now left to the child to really work hard. If the parents convincing the parents that hey, I want to be this, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a lawyer. If it involves convincing the parents, then it's now the ball is now at the court of that child, of that boy or girl, to do everything within his or her power, to achieve his dream or her dream in life. If it involves involving relatives, people who can sponsor the education, then the child now should now take charge of his life or her life. But every parent owes his or her child basic education. At least the child's right to have education. A parent who fails to give the child education, for me, has failed in that aspect of parenting. Yeah.
Wow, this is beautiful. Like I have no words. This is beautiful. Okay. So right now, let's go over the success. We said relationship guides slash success rules. What is success? What can you say success is? Let's define success, please.
Okay. In my own definition of my language, I would say that success is a state where your desires are the same with your achievements. Like what you desire, when they are also what you have achieved, your achievements are the same as what you desired in the past. At
Mm.
that point, you are successful. Like what you have planned out in life, if it is what you have, like or what you achieve, that's success for me.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
let me take you to a football field.
Yeah.
Just as it is now, if you watch football, Arsenal are in the Premier League and they are doing well.
Yes.
Arsenal Football Club,
Yes.
they are doing well. Now, there to at last, yeah, is their desire to at last win the league.
Yeah.
Their desire, if you watch how they play, you see that they
Yes.
desire, they are hungry to win that particular league.
Yes.
If at the end of the league they win it, that means they achieve that desire.
Desire.
That's success. So when you achieve it, it's the same thing as your desire. That's success.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, what is the youth not getting correctly about success?
Like what the youths are not getting correctly about success.
Yes.
Okay, what the youths are not getting correctly about success is that some youths measure success the wrong way. Most youths they measure success like they use the wrong measuring tool to measure success. Some see it as a material acquisition, like what they acquire.
Mm,
Like some youths that want to get rich quick.
mm.
Some see it as once I'm rich, once I have the money, I have the car, I have for those who humanize, I have the girls and everything. That's success. But that's wrong. That's success. That's why today in the world you see people are competing. They are competing. Like they want to be eating big. Like by all means. Today you see Yahoo, what they call Yahoo, fraud, internet fraud everywhere. You know, youth they get into several things that are dating just to achieve success. Because what they see as success is not actually success. No. So I
Wow.
think they have a very poor perspective of what success is.
Wow.
I mean, the youth of nowadays.
Wow. So now, how do we correct that perspective? Because that's the simple truth. What the youth, what they call success is not success. That's the simple truth. So right now, how do we correct that view, that wrong view? It looks bright, but it's like a poison chalice. It looks bright, oh, but when you go closer, you understand that it is actually the wrong view of success. So right now, what do they have to do to correct that view of success? Like you said, success is when your achievement, when your desire match your achievement. Like Arsenal right now, they want to be successful. They have to work for it. You see now, like for success, there's a kind of a work you have to go through. You have to go through the work. That it requires mental intelligence. It requires patience. It requires fully putting up your emotions together. It requires a lot of things. You see, just look at Arsenal. Look at Arsenal right now. For an example, you see it. They have to put up everything necessary tools they can for them that get motivational speakers if possible. I don't know if how they do it there. They have to empower the boys with the necessary mind tools, cooperation, everything. You see these things right now. So the process for success is actually something nice. Someone says don't just overcome overcome obstacles that matter. Don't just overcome obstacles. So so people should understand that for success there has to be a process. Okay? So right now, can you help us change the view of, because many youth they want to just be successful without any process, without anything. For instance, if you want to have a business, a company that sells worldwide, you must physically build that company, right? You must do it. That's the process. But right now, the youth right now they just want the success without anything. They don't want to do anything. They just want the success. So right now, what do we have to do right to correct their view? That is the question.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Yeah, um, one way to correct that view is for every youth to realize that this life has different phases. Like there are different stages in life. There's a phase where someone is a child. There's a phase where they become youths, and there's the phase of adulthood.
Yeah.
And how your life will be in every new phase depends on what you did in the previous phase.
Uh,
If as a youth you fail to equip yourself with ideas, knowledge in your previous phase of life when you were younger, actually you will struggle at this particular point in time you are now. Like every you should know that preparation plays a key role. You have to prepare. Like you have to prepare for every new phase you want to get to. Prepare mentally, equip yourself with knowledge, equip yourself with good knowledge about success. Actually, success is not a something that I said that humans don't use more than 10% of their brain capacity. And I believe that it's at the youthful stage that the brain is more elastic. So they
Mm.
should equip their brain with knowledge, with ideas, with skills that they need to succeed in life. Yeah, that's fundamental strength. Also, physical strength. A youth is the one that can do like the hardest work. Somebody who is old can't do any hard work. So that's why success has to do with the youth more than those who are old. At this point, they can give energy to do anything. They can stay all night, read. They can stay for a long time to learn skills, to do things. So they have the physical strength, they have the mental strength, and anyhow they you know live their life now will determine how their life will be. Like the process will always determine the results, the products in the future. So
Wow.
they should utilize this time and take their focus away from the mundane, from things they see as success. Those things are mirage. They are not success. I have a book written by me actually, like it's my book. And
Okay.
I caption place a premium on preparation. That's my
Okay.
book. It's a
Okay.
book, yeah, that I wrote to motivate the youth.
Okay.
That book, there, I talk about that every beautiful product is a function of good preparation. And the process is what makes the product beautiful. Like the process makes the result beautiful.
Yeah.
When you look at great men today, you see Dangote, you see Joe Biden, you
Okay.
see great men that you they appear beautiful, they appear great. But these men didn't just wake up one day and become great like that. They have gone through a lot. They have gone through some formative stages in life. They have gone through preparation. They have prepared themselves to get to the level where they are today. I can remember when I was in school, I used to have this great admiration for my professors. Like I admire them so much. I see them as people who are not human beings, as people who don't have blood in their body, people who fell from heaven. That was how I look at them. Why? Because of when they speak, what they know, like their knowledge used to impress me back then. But then, at some point, I was like, can I be like this man? Can I, in this life, be like them? Something in me said, no, that I can't be like them. These men are professors, they are lecturers, that I'm a nobody. Then someone voice in me now counter that one. I was like, hey, that if I go through the same thing they went through, if I
Yes.
give myself the same preparation, if
Yes.
I do all that they have done, that
Yes.
I can be like them. So success is not magic. It's all about preparation. It's all about what have you added to yourself? What values have you added to yourself? And adding values, yeah. One way again that youth can add value to themselves is that they should be mindful of the company they keep, like the friends they keep.
Uh,
Like people you keep affect your life a great deal. If a youth goes with somebody who has nothing to offer, who adds zero value to his life, such a youth can be successful in life actually. But if you mingle with people who have something to offer, people who have gone through the process and at least they have, you know, an amount of success in their life. If a youth mingles with some people who at least have success to an extent in life, it will be transmitted. Success is contagious. I said success is contagious. It can spread, from one person to another. So people should be wary and they should be mindful and conscious of people that they go with. So that's one way. Yeah, you should change their perception of success and change the circle of friends they keep. That's why they have such bad mindset about success.
wow.
People they
That's
see around them, they feel challenged by some negative things that have no value to them. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, and that was awesome. Okay, so make sure you just play it again and learn. Okay, if you are a teenager, like that will really help you a great deal. Okay, so right now the last question we have here is why are Nigerians struggling? We want to make this regional a bit. Why are many Nigerians struggling? The youths or everybody in general? Because check here right now. A parent of 60 years old usually still live in rentage. That's the simple truth. They still live in rentage. They usually still live in a house that they don't own. 60 years. What are you doing for the past 60? What have you been doing? If you have been trying to know how, because you want to make money, right? Why don't you learn how money works? Why don't you learn how to make money? If you have been learning how to make money for 15 years, I am sure you should have had a lot of money in your possession. I think many of the parents are not actually learning about money. They just put money like money is irrelevant. Then when the child comes, they put unnecessary pressure on the child. That is just how I see it. So right now, I'm coming. That's just how I see it. Okay. So that's just it. So right now, what do we have to say right now? Like, why are Nigerians struggling? That is the number one question I wanted to answer right now. Why are they struggling?
Okay, I'll give you two answers for that. I'll give you two answers. Why are Nigerians struggling? The first one I'll give you, like based on you said that somebody who is 60 years, who doesn't own a house, who should get to a level, but it's not at this point in time.
Yeah.
The reason for that one is, like we said earlier, failure to learn, failure to master the art of making money, and failure to master the art of planning and managing money as well. Financial intelligence for that one, yeah. That's the reason. People who are unwilling to learn, or even some persons have been in a trade or they've been working for years and making money, but failure to manage the money. I don't call financial management. Like when you make money, you have to actually plan how to use the money. Plan, cut the money, take some part to save, some part to invest, and some part to spend. But most people, as they work, they spend everything. If you work just to spend everything, that means you are feeding from hand to mouth. And you are working and eating and growing fast, possibly. That's not the way, actually. So, but if a person is into a trade or a work, as you are working, you are saving some money, you are investing some money, and you are spending some money to take care of the basic needs of life. That way, if a person continues that way, of course, that person won't be struggling actually. So that's one of the reasons why many Nigerians are struggling. Financial intelligence is one of the reasons why many Nigerians are struggling. Now, the second reason why people are struggling, why things are not going well, I would say is that there are the wise ones, there are the good ones, but the bad ones make the work of the wise ones to useless.
Yeah.
Actually, like some people actually are good, they are wise, but the ones who are not wise and who are not good make the work of those who are wise to look useless. Just imagine as you are now, as you are now, and as I am too.
Mm.
I believe at least that we are learning to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are learning at
Yeah.
least. We have some things in our head to an extent, right?
Yes.
Now we are struggling, believe that by what we know, and we can make things good. Then
Yeah.
tomorrow, somebody of your age comes with one expensive car like that, like to intimidate you. This person has gotten his own wealth through an ill means,
Yeah.
maybe through fraud or something, through fraud. The society will look at you as a failure and look at him as somebody who is a success. I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll see you as somebody who is doing nothing, and they'll
Yes.
see him as somebody
Exactly.
who is doing something.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how it is. Like people who make money in the honest ways, like they have time, they need time to actually make the money, to plan, to grow the money, and to be wealthy at last.
Wow.
But the bad ones make the work of the good ones to look as if they are doing nothing.
Nothing.
Then again, people who spend time in school learning, going through school,
Yeah.
after spending the years getting knowledge, they will come out of school, they will have no job. Like they will have no job. There's somebody who has not gone to school, but who is smart in their own way, who does fraud or something, will just make it big. It should be as if the one that went to school actually is a failure. Why the other one is success?
Yeah.
Just like what happened now, our face it.
Yeah.
Like there are good people in the country, just like what happened like in this election that was concluded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Nigeria have more people like the INEC, like the INEC, than
Yeah.
people like P2B. I don't
Yeah.
know who is supposed to, but they celebrate evil over good. You understand? They
Okay.
celebrate evil. They celebrate impunity. They celebrate those who make their wealth in ill ways, in bad ways, in ways that are not honorable. So these are the reasons why people are not progressing in Nigeria. One,
Okay.
the society, how they view
Yes.
success, and two, like they want what is at fault? People who lack financial intelligence.
Okay. So that is all we have for the show right now. You see the reasons why Nigerians are struggling, and obviously for other podcasts, he's going to come on our show again. I want to talk about actually how to get rich. How can a person, a teenager right now, get rich? We are going to prepare actual process that a teenager can take that we guarantee that that teenager will be rich, okay, in the future. So that is just what we're going to discuss next, okay? Actual process. For me, I think if you want to be rich, with this is all I want to talk about. I just want to give you a pinch of it. For me, I think if you want to be rich, is partnership. Partnership. Just think about it. You like Indomie. Think about the things you like. Indomie, I love food. Indomie, you love plantain, everything. Why don't you partner with those companies producing those things? You can put some of your money there and tell them, hey, all I just need from you is give me 1 carton of Indomie every month. That's just all I need from you. Take my money, use my money for your business, invest it into your capital. Give me 1 carton of Indomie every month. That's what I need. Okay? That will solve the problem of you having to spend money on Indomie. That money right now is going to kind of cut your expenses. Okay? Leave more money in reserve for you. You can apply this strategy in other ways. That is it. So we're going to discuss more about how to actually get rich. Okay, helping you achieve your goals. So this is what we have right now. Mr. Christian, thanks a lot. This is a great one from you. We really, really appreciate. Goodbye.